Go back a little bit. The Belmonts, man. I mean, what a sound. The street, it's just rock and roll from the streets, the melodies, the different vocals going on there. I just got to go back for my viewers to understand how great that is and where you came from and how you put it together.
When I was a kid, I was living in the Bronx, close to a block away from Bronx Zoo. That was my stomping grounds, Botanical Garden, the Concourse, which is like the Champs-Élysées of the Bronx. And, I was a kid, like 10, 11 years old, and I heard Hank Williams. There was a show coming out of Newark, New Jersey called the Don Larkin Show. And he had come back from the Army and fell in love with country music. And, he played Lefty Frizzell and Hank Williams. And I heard this stuff as a kid, and it, Stephan, it just transported me into a place of enchantment. Here I am in this little apartment with my parents arguing 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It seemed to me. And I hear this music and it just took me to a place of transcendence. It's like a place of pleasure, delight, and I'm so lonesome I could. And I bought a secondhand guitar. My uncle got an L1 Gibson for $8.
Whoa.
Today, you could. So, and I started learning some chords. My uncle taught me a couple of chords, and I must have knew about 40 Hank Williams songs. And off I went, and then I heard Jimmy Reed, and that was it. There was this songwriter in my neighborhood, and he, I started kind of making a little name for myself because I'd play at the church dances with the butcher who played bass and the grocery guy who played drums, and this writer came up to me. I was sitting on a stoop singing some songs from my friends, and I found a secret. I could sing to the guys in the neighborhood without threat. I could sing, "No one knows what I go through, and the tears I cry for you. And when I smile, it's just..." And nobody would be threatened. I could sing stuff like that was tearing me apart. And no one would be, if you ever told somebody that, you'd get punched in the you couldn't say, "No one knows what I go through and the tears I cry," So I found the secret that you could sing the songs and threaten no one. And your deepest feelings, you could try to communicate them, So this songwriter comes up to me, he says, I know this company that's starting up in Manhattan called Laurie Records. And he takes me down there, and I was listening to Chuck Berry. But I loved Carl Perkins. So I did a Carl Perkins tune, like Boppin' the Blues.
Well, all my friends is bopping the blues. It must be going round.
And in fact, I still have the acetate of it.
Wow.
And, that I made at Allegro. There was I did a little session down there. One session, I did 4 songs. And I sang this tune for Gene and Bob, who opened up this company, and they went crazy. They signed me. They were like, "Bring your parents down here. We, to witness the signature," because I was 17. So they signed me, and then they started manipulating. We want to put you with this group called the Timberlanes, and and they were like, do, 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 do. They were like guys from Oklahoma or something. For a chosen few. And there was rock and roll had just hit the scene. It wasn't like I grew up to this stuff. There was no rock and roll when I grew up. So when they wanted to put me with this group, I said, listen, let me go back to my neighborhood. I know some guys that, you know, I know Carlo from the pool room, and I know Freddie from Mapes Avenue, who sings with the jukebox all day, and Angelo, he's up on Belmont Avenue. He's up at this candy store and he's always, you know, he's got an operatic voice. I could put some guys together. So I recruit these 3 guys. I tell them to come over to my house. We put together I Wonder Why. Stephan, I got to tell you, it was like a magic moment. It was a golden defining moment in my life, because we just started putting, you know, we didn't have any examples, or not too many. And we were listening to some of the doo-wop guys like the Cadillacs and everything. So we started making sounds and doing stuff, you know. So, you know, we started it out like we thought we were starting out like a horn section, you know, dan 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 dan, you know, and then the bass, Carlo, who started singing bass, Angelo started singing tenor, I'm singing the lead, Freddie's doing some fill-ins, like we were doing 4 different things. I felt like I was on a carousel in heaven. I was like 16 at the time, 17. And man, I said, this thing is nuts. This is great. So we went down and recorded it. It became a big hit, especially in the Bronx. It was like off the charts.
Oh man, the minute you hear that intro, and you just doing it right now, it is so epic and huge, and it just sets the tone of New York. It's the beginning of rock and roll. As you said, it was this magical moment. It's like a religious experience, a rock and roll religious experience. Oh,
it was cool.
So that was, because before that, so you did that. That's, and correct me if I'm wrong, was there a song called The Chosen for you or something with the other band before, right? You recorded?
I was on. Yeah, I did. They had an existing track.
Uh-huh.
So I sang it with these guys, the Timberlands. I never met them. They were on this track, and the record label was waning. It was called Mohawk or something. You know, they were going out, and they had a crooner on the record. They took them off. They had me sing on it. Listen, it was out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
It wasn't my wheelhouse. Now I could explain it like that, but I just did it because I wanted to record. I wanted to hear my voice on tape. I knew I could do something, because, as a kid, you're wondering, who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? What's this all about? And you find out you could do something well, like write a song or sing a song or communicate it. And it's like, it's like the guy who could throw a football from here to Charlie's house, or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I could do this. So I wanted to do it. And but it didn't really scratch that itch. I said to these guys, if you want me to sing with a group, let me go get some of my friends. We'll put something together,
Man, did you put something together?
I recruited these guys, and man, I tell you, they were all very talented. Like Carlo Mastrangelo was a jazz drummer. I think he was a savant, because we'd go out on the road, and we were in Chicago. We would go to a club, and maybe Coltrane was singing with Sarah Vaughan. He'd want to play with them. So they said, well, let's see what this white kid could do, because he was confident. And he'd get up there and kill these people. He was a great drummer. He never practiced. And they would say, how do you do that? He said, I could hear the arrangement coming at me. I could hear it before it happens.
That's incredible.
So he was like that, He was a very rhythmic guy. Angelo DeLeo, who was the tenor, in that group could sing like an angel. And Freddie Milano, he could do parts. He would sing parts in falsetto, but low, low falsetto. So it had a different kind of sound. But I never experienced it until the four of us got together. And then, and when we hit with That's My Desire, I thought, oh my God, we were like three punks singing this song, and Angelo DeLeo, who was like an opera singer, just floated above us with this operatic tenor voice. It was fun.
If you enjoyed this episode, you could catch it now unedited in our members only club. It supports the channel and the fun. And make sure you check out Dion, the rock and roll philosopher. You could pre-order the book right now. Just click on that icon on your screen right here. And make sure you drop us a line down below in the comments. We always love to hear from you. Now click on your screen for our next episode, and remember, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications button, because we have more Dion coming your way. Until then, who loves you, baby? We do. Thanks for watching.